This is absolutely amazing for the Boston Celtics and for Jay Scrubb as he's been gifted another opportunity with this Celtics squad on an Exhibit 10-day contract after tearing his ACL last season at the end of training camp before the start of the season. Now, Jay Scrubb worked his way as a Summer League standout up to a two-way contract, and could Brad Stevens give him that opportunity or possibly gift him a two-way contract in the future? We'll be discussing all of that and more on this episode of Celtics Digest. I'm Bruce Velez. You guys have been absolutely fantastic showing your love, showing your support on the channel recently. But if you guys are part of the 80% who are not subscribed, that want to make sure you stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics content and coverage, make sure to hit that subscribe button as this is the home and centralized hub. Without further ado, let's dive into the topic at hand. Make sure to grab a snack, and the first topic that we're going to be discussing and breaking down, obviously, is Jay Scrubb being welcomed back to this Boston Celtics squad. As I mentioned, he tore his ACL at the end of training camp last season, was able to rehab with this Boston Celtics squad, and things have been kind of quiet on the Jay Scrubb side of things. We did have a video coming out a little bit, oh, maybe a week ago, 2 weeks ago, kind of highlighting news and talking about it when we kind of saw, but now we have the initial report and kind of the backing down to provide it. So let's dive in and look at this. First, we're going to be looking at this article, which I saw from Bobby Manning for Boston Sports Journal. Bobby Manning does a fantastic job working for CLNS, breaking down all this news for us over here with Celtics news, and he was the one to get this out today first. Other reporters like Bobby Kravitsky also have some readings, have had some articles done on this, which if you guys missed those, check those out on Twitter. They're absolutely fantastic. Gave themselves a read. But like you mentioned, Celtics two-way guard last season shared a ACL injury, suffered an ACL injury, excuse me, in training camp, but now be able to bounce back and fight for a spot here. So we have some quotes here from this article that are solid. If you guys do not know who Jay Scrubb is, last season, like I mentioned, he had season-ending surgery, obviously, after tearing his ACL in training camp. He was one of the three two-way spots the Celtics had signed at that time. They had J.D. Davidson, they had Neemias Queta, and they had Jay Scrubb. Well, unfortunately for Jay Scrubb, because he tore his ACL, since he wasn't going to be able to play with that Celtics squad and be able to participate on the two-way contract, they decided to waive him and bring in Drew Peterson. But Brad Stevens did tell Scrubb that they'd help him out with his rehab, make sure the Celtics facilities were available for him. He became visible as camp concluded and the regular season began around the Auerbach Center with his crutches and knee brace. But after several months, he returned to his native Kentucky home to work with his trainers and largely fade from the memory of Boston fans as the championship season begun. Now we all know Scrubble will be receiving a second chance where he'll sign an Exhibit 10-day contract with the Celtics once he fully recovers from his injury and receive clearance to play basketball, allowing him to compete for a spot with Boston, most likely resuming his basketball career in Maine. For you guys who do not know what an Exhibit 10-day contract is, an Exhibit 10-day contract allows the player to be invited to training camp. We saw this type of contract gifted to Ron Harper Jr. We saw this contract gifted to Tristan Enwara, and these are players who are also on the Celtics Summer League this season. So those two players, alongside Jay Scrubb, once he's fully cleared, will be invited to Maine to work out with the G League squad, work out with these two-way guys, and ultimately train with them to kind of figure out who's going to be filling in these roles for this Maine squad. As we know and as we've seen with the Celtics squad, they have lost some players from this main team, including one in DJ Wagner, who has signed, or not, excuse me, DJ Wagner, DJ Stewart, excuse me, who has signed a two-way contract already with the Chicago Bulls. Therefore, Celtics have one spot to fill right there. I know Joe Wieskamp played Summer League somewhere else as well, and there's a bunch of other names that were on the Celtics, on the main Celtics last season that have moved on and looked other places. So there are some roster spots open, and I would be shocked if Jay Scrubb does not work towards and earning one of those. Let's kind of dive in and look more at this. Jay Scrubb said even though he wasn't on a deal with the Celtics, he still felt like he was part of the team this season because he was there and the relationship that he built was just already there from the part of the organization. They gave him the motivation. They wanted him to get back out with those guys. The mental part, being away for the game for the first time, just crushed him, but he didn't really know how to feel. But having the support from Boston, having the support from the fan base and from the organization really, really took over. And that really brought him back into this basketball mindset, back to realizing that he can do this. He can be this type of player. And it's tough physically, but the harder you work, the more you build up to better yourself. If you do not know about Jay Scrubb, he was one of the only players drafted from a JUCO into the NBA. He was drafted in the second round at pick 55, selected by the Los Angeles Clippers. He did play for the Clippers organization, but when the Clippers decided to kind of go away from that tank and go into that playoff push with Kawhi Leonard and Paul George, they decided to let go of Scrubb. Scrubb then went over to Orlando, kind of played with their summer league team, tried to find a whole role with their G League team, and then ultimately ended up with Boston last season, where he had that very, very standout summer league. Fortunately for Jay Scrubb, like I mentioned, he was never really able to blossom or kind of pan out from that summer league due to the fact that he had an injury. But this season, I'm expecting some big things out of my guy, Jay Scrubb. Like we mentioned, Jay Scrubb during the summer league last season was a standout player. He in the 5 games that he played for the Boston Celtics, he averaged 14.4 points, 3.6 rebounds, and 1.4 assists while shooting 46% from the field and an impressive 40% beyond the arc. Scrubb is a nice a guard who can play with the ball in his hands or without in his hands. He's a pretty solid shooter as well. Presently from the 3-point range, hitting 40%, but from the mid range as well. He's a player that I think just kind of brings a nice versatile offensive style, one that we've kind of really seen throughout the NBA, a player who can basically contribute on all ends of the floor. But defensively, he is a not the greatest defender, but can hold his own. Definitely some parts he needs to work on. But hopefully without this ACL injury and hopefully it doesn't slow him down. Hopefully it allows him to play at that quick step still and still allow him to be a big contributor. Jay Scrubb is a guy who, for you guys do not know, does share the same birthday as me, my birthday twin. Kind of weird. I'll give you guys it, but to the date, to the T, month, date, and year, we are born on the same day. So how could I not support? How could I not want to show love to a guy in Jay Scrubb specifically? But my guy balled out last year in the summer league, and even though he tore his ACL in training camp, I really do hope that he can find his way to this main squad and work his way back to another shot because he proved it on this Celtics Summer League squad last year that he is worthy of being a two-way player. And as we've seen with Neemias Queta this season, being on a two-way contract allows you to be able to get that opportunity in the NBA and even earn yourself a standardized contract by the end of that season. Now, I don't necessarily know that Jay Scrubb is going to get that guaranteed opportunity this year with the Boston Celtics, but I do believe this Exhibit 10-day contract isn't going to allow him to work himself back into a comfortability where he can play in the G League and feel himself back in the basketball state. Now, with this ACL injury, it could slow him down a little bit. It could, never bring him back to that two-way spot. We do want to wish the best for Jay Scrubb. We want him to be able to come into this main training camp, succeed, ball out, play for this main Celtics squad, and then hopefully with this main squad makes the team. And then from that, there's two trajectories. You can either be slow down a little bit, stay in the G League, and be a consistent G League player, or maybe at the end of this season works himself way back up to another two-way contract, and we're having those discussions about these two-way deals when we're talking to a guy like J.D. Davidson, or talking to a guy like Drew Peterson, or talking to a guy like Anton Watson. Again, maybe there is an open roster spot for one of them to take so Scrubb can take a two-way spot. Or maybe Scrubb plays so well that another team is willing to offer them a two-way spot, similar to Chicago did with DJ Stewart. I think that those possibilities are definitely in the realm for Jay Scrubb in the future. And regardless of the fact if it's with this team or with another team, I'm wishing Jay Scrubb the best. Ultimately, he's going to be with the Celtics squad right now, coming in as an Exhibit 10-day contract. So for me personally, for my birthday twin, for my guy Jay Scrubb, let's have a standout training camp. Let's ball out. Let's prove to all these Celtics fans that wanted us to see you succeed this year. Actually do it, my guy. I am in all support of Jay Scrubb. I am rooting for this guy. I'm absolutely ecstatic that he's going to get another chance with this Celtics team. And even if it is just with this main Celtics squad, even if it is just this G League opportunity, he deserves it all, especially going through this ACL injury, going through all the rehab, being able to fight through this all, especially a player trying to fight for his NBA spot and trying to fight for a career. You wish nothing but the best of luck. So Jay Scrubb, I'm hoping for you, my guy. I really hope that I get to see you in Maine. And who knows? If Jay Scrubb plays in Maine, I will definitely try to make a game so that I can get to talk to him because that would be absolutely amazing. Without further ado, I want to say thank you guys for showing support. Let me know your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. How do you guys feel about this signing, bringing in Jay Scrubb to the main Celtics here on Exhibit 10-day contract? Do you guys remember from last year? Do you guys think he can earn another two-way spot? Or do you guys think he's just going to be a guy fighting in the main Celtics? Drop down your thoughts. Drop down how you guys feel down below in the comment section. Once again, I really do appreciate support. Really do appreciate everybody tuning in, hitting that like button, hitting that subscribe button. So if you do want to make sure you stay up to date on daily Boston Celtics content and coverage, just like this, make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, make sure to stay tuned. Check out for the weekly streams coming out Wednesdays, and check out the links in our description to join the Discord to interact with myself on more of a Celtics fan base, interact with other Celtics fans, and talk to other Digest media creators and fan bases down there. Or also follow us on Twitter at Celtics Digest YT so you could possibly get tweets like this and see my reactions like this that I give to all the fans. Once again, you guys are absolutely fantastic. Thank you guys so much for showing your support, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, and go Boston Celtics.